Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. We're at Jollibee in Hollywood, California. The reason we haven't eaten yet is because they want proof that we've been vaccinated. And I took a picture of my vaccination dates and my booster when I got the booster right before we left. Unfortunately, my wife, who has gotten her booster and her first and second vaccine on the same days that I did, does not have proof of it. So she brought it with us on the trip since we're flying, just in case, but she didn't bring it to Jollibee, so they're not letting us in. They only let you into the dining area if you have proof that you've been vaccinated and you have an ID to prove that you are the person on the vaccination card. So we'll have to have somebody else go in for us and order the food, and we'll have to eat it in the car since we're nowhere near where we're staying. But that's just a COVID-related struggle that you have these days, and we're in California, and maybe in other states this doesn't happen, but we'll have to get our food. We just not welcome to go inside, even though we've been fully vaccinated, boosted, and spent 16 hours yesterday in Disneyland in one of the busiest days of the year, packed in like sardines, and yet we're not going to be able to go inside. But the inconsistencies, that's just how it is. And hopefully one of these days soon we can return to normal. We can travel without hindrance and go places. I don't know. We'll survive, but it's just kind of a nuisance when you've been fully vaccinated and like my wife, and just doesn't carry around her vaccination cards all the time, and that's just the way it goes. No big deal. We'll continue to enjoy our vacation here on Love Beyond the Sea. Okay, just a quick update here. They were saying that Isa was going to be able to come into the restaurant where we are now and pick up the food, but she was not going to be allowed to stay here and eat it, which makes even less sense. She can come into the store now, and but since her ID didn't pop up, she wouldn't be able to eat in here. Well, as we were waiting, her proof of vaccination did show up on her phone, so now we're going to be able to all stay here and eat. Otherwise, they decided, okay, you can stay in here, but you just can't eat here, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, but it's gonna work out okay. Just a little bit of a hassle here today. Okay, I have one more thing to report on. Well, this food is absolutely delicious here. You also notice the portions are a lot bigger pieces of chicken, bigger spaghetti than we're used to in the Philippines, here in Jollibee, Hollywood. But just to add to this interesting situation, we had to show our vaccination IDs when we came in on the left side of the up front there, where the cash registers are. And once we finally got through all of that, the vaccination proof, the IDs, we went over to the right side, which is about 15 feet over, and once again, they wanted to see Isa's proof of ID. I'm not proof ID, her vaccination proof, even though even though she just gave that 15 feet over when we were ordering the food. Then when we pick up the food, we need to reprove the vaccination status and the ID again 10 minutes later on the other side of the line to pick up the food, which I don't know, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Moral of the story: be prepared when you go to Jollibee in Hollywood. Your ID, your vaccination status.
I wonder if
you want to get in the store and eat.